What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I want to start this video off by saying thank you. I finally got to 1,000 subscribers, and when I say finally, I mean that was my goal for the entire year. All of 2025, my goal was 1,000 subscribers, and we're already there. So thank you for subscribing and watching and liking. I don't know why you choose me. I am a mediocre local racer at best who gets his butt kicked weekly. And there are better people to choose, honestly, someone who can win and run up front and actually knows what they're doing. So I'm not sure why you chose me, but I appreciate it, and thank you. Now, on to this week's video. We are going to Wheelersburg Raceway for the Give Back Classic. Little backstory, I consider Wheelersburg Raceway my home track. That is where I grew up. And that was where I got my start. That's where I made my very first laps in a go-kart. It's where I flipped my first go-kart. It's where I got my first win, where I got my first championship. My first everything in racing came at Wheelersburg Raceway. Now, I've moved away and, went to college and got a job, and I have a house and blah, blah, blah. And I live in Northern Ohio now, but Gramps still lives down there. Gramps is still 20 minutes away, and he'll probably never leave. So Wheelersburg is my home track. Now, we haven't been there in a very, very, very long time. The last time we were there was probably 8 or 9 years ago, and the time before that was 2007. The reason being is Gramps got mad, and Gramps can hold a grudge. Now, I was a child, and I have no idea why he's mad. I can't remember, and I don't even think I know why he was mad back then. But the old man held a grudge and was like, we're never going back there again. And as a kid, I was like, well, all right, I guess we'll just go race somewhere else. But I've really been wanting to get back for a really long time, and we're finally doing it. You said we went again maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and that was because someone else took the track over, and Grandpa was like, we'll go back. And we went to 6 races and we won 4 of them, so we did really well, and that was awesome. But I'm not expecting that. That was probably, man, I don't even know if it was 8 or 9 years ago. It might have been even for longer than that. But things have changed, tires have changed, carts have changed, engines has changed. I mean, back in like 2007, clones weren't even a thing. We were running flatheads there. So, and this is a bigger race, and y'all know how I do at big races. I usually get my butt kicked. Owasso was awful. I finished dead last. It was terrible. So even though Wheelersburg is my home track and I have years and years of experience there and lots of wins and championships and everything else, I'm not really expecting much in terms of results because things are very different now. And if you watch this channel, you know that I've been struggling pretty bad for kind of a long time. I've actually, since I started this channel, probably gotten worse. And I never actually made videos or recorded anything whenever I could actually win and be up front. Even if it was just on the local level, winning and being up front. None of that's in here. So you guys only know me as, struggling and sucking, which is a bummer. I don't really like that. But it is what it is. I'm trying really hard. As you can see, I've got basically all of my tires out. I'm working really hard on them this week. I want to try and do better. I want to try and get up front again, even just on the local level. If I can just be up front again, that's what I really want. So I'm working really hard at it. I'm trying to figure my tire stuff out. That's, I think, where we struggle at the most. I really like the Ultramax and the new kart. It handles great. It runs good. But I think, obviously, these are the most important things in kart racing. And I think that is 100% where we're missing it. I know last week I was real bad and down on myself and said that it's me and I probably just can't drive, but obviously I've thought about it and I'm over that and I'm not all depressed anymore. So we're missing something here. And I don't know what it is because I have the most new tires I've ever had. I probably have the nicest tires I've ever had. So I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm hoping maybe a track like Wheelersburg that I'm familiar with and I know maybe gives me a little better shot, I guess. I don't know, but Wheelersburg's my home track. I'm really excited to go back there. We haven't been there in a really long time. My plan for like a Wheelersburg reunion video was to have like pictures and stuff because I have pictures. I have books and books and books of pictures and point sheets and everything else from whenever we used to race there. But we didn't get to get Wheelersburg last year for the Charlie Floyd because the race rained out and we didn't make the rain update, and that was when I was going to do all that. And since we've moved, all of that stuff is buried in a box somewhere in a closet and I don't really know where it is. And I don't really have the time to dig it out, unfortunately. But I'll find what pictures I can and put them in here so you guys can relive the glory days with me a little bit whenever I used to actually be fast and when I could actually win races, because clearly those days are long gone. But is what it is. Anyway, Wheelersburg's my home track. Let's get on to this weekend. It is the Give Back Classic. Last year, I think they did a bunch of free entry fee classes, and it's a Saturday, Sunday show, so 2 days over Memorial Day weekend. This year, I don't think they're doing as many free entry fee classes. Now, I know Saturday is stock appearing as a free class. And I tried to find some Vega tires and a stock appearing so we could run it because we're balling on a budget over here. So if we can get a free entry fee, we're going to do it. I had a lead on some tires, but I couldn't find an engine, so it is what it is. I don't know what the free classes are on Saturday or Sunday. I'm not really sure, but our plan is to run my kart, include medium on both days, and then Larry McRoberts, I will run his kart Sunday in Predator. You guys should recognize that name. I ran his engine at Liberty. I ran both of his engine, his clone and his do car down in North Carolina. We ran really good down there. So huge thanks to Larry again for letting me run his kart and the Predator class. I'm down to one kart right now. It's the only kart I have, so I can't really run multiple engine classes like that. So big thanks to Larry again for bringing the kart. I'm going to use his tires too, so I'm hoping we can have a good run in the Predator with his stuff. His stuff is very good. Kyle wins on it all the time. I know he knows the stuff and he has good tires. So hopefully we can have a good run in that Predator. And hopefully I can start figuring my shit out a little bit because I'm tired of getting my butt kicked. So that's that. Going back to my home track where I got my start, where everything started, where I had my first win and my first everything. Working really hard on the tires, trying to get my game back, trying to get to where I can be up front again and win races. Because I really want to be there again. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked. And that's it. Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be there both days. Clone medium both days. Predator on Sunday. I'm going to shut up and get to work so I can try and figure my stuff out. And I hope I'll see you there. And I hope I can maybe see some old friends I haven't seen in a while. Don't know how many of you are still racing or even watch this or anything. But maybe it'll be a little bit of a reunion. Who knows? Thanks for watching. And oh yeah, this is going to be a two-parter. Saturday we'll have a video and Sunday we'll have a video. So each race day will be its own video. And that's that. All right, this drive brings back a lot of memories. Oh, the sign's gone. So here on this corner, there used to be a Wheelersburg Raceway sign, and you go this way, which is what we're gonna do. But I wish the sign was still here that said Wheelersburg Raceway with the arrow. But I remember as a kid, like 8, 9 years old, we had an old white panel van. Think of like a free candy creeper van that we used. We hold the cart in the back. And once we got to about right here, about this turn, we would pull over and stop. And Gramps would make me get in the back and sit in the cart so he could sneak me into the races and not have to buy a pit pass for me. And for some reason, they never caught on that they had a kid entered into a class that was racing, but not a pit pass for said kid. So we did that for a lot of years until we actually upgraded and got a trailer, and then he couldn't sneak me in. Well, he could, but he didn't think that was safe, I guess. So brings back a lot of memories of Gramps sneaking me into the track in the back of the van in the go-kart.
I don't know where I'm going.
That way. That's where the track is.
Okay, well, you're not helping me out here.
I know. Man, it's very, very similar.
Even open yet. How are all these people
So
in
that's
there?
the same sign-in booth that was here all the way back in the day whenever we were a kid. Everything looks so far the same, but I almost feel like I got to jump out and get in the trailer so I can sneak myself in just like the good old days. But yeah, that's the story. Brings back a lot of memories. I remember being like 8 years old, sitting in the cart, getting all nervous and excited because I was a kid and I hadn't really raced before yet. So hopefully this goes well. I guess, I don't know. My confidence is low, you all know that, but brings back a lot of memories. So hopefully I remember how to get around this place. All right, so it is a bit different. The track itself is the same shape. It's still banked a whole bunch, but there's nothing on this side now. So this used to be the front stretch and the flag stand was about in the middle there. And then this side, that was your announcer's booth and then like a crow's nest where you could stand and watch the races. But now there's what I assume is still the announcer's booth and the crow's stand, but there's now the flag stand here too. So basically they swapped sides. This is now the back stretch instead of the front stretch. This is now the front stretch instead of the back stretch. But so far that is the only difference that I can tell from whenever I was a kid. Everything else is still exactly the same. The bleachers are in the same, and I still think the original bleachers. The sign-in booth is still the same, the concession stand is still the same. What is a little different is There used to be a big barn back here, a big red barn. That's the Wheelersburg Raceway on the side, but I assume that like fell in or caught on fire or something, because even when I was a kid, that thing was in rough shape, but that's now pit spots. And then they actually extended the pit on this side, so it used to end right where the sign-in booth was, and that was just general parking out there. They extended the fence out, and now that's all pitting now too. So they made the pit area a little bigger, and they swapped the front stretch and back stretch. But other than that, it's pretty much exactly the same. I haven't wandered down there or anything, but the grid was always right here, and I think the grid is still right there. And then you exited off of what is now the back stretch, and there was a pretty long road, little runoff area down to the scale. So I'm interested to see if that's still the same too, but I assume it is. But all in all, it looks exactly the same as it did back in 2001 and 3 and 4 and 7 and all of that. So pretty much unchanged. So hopefully we can get around here pretty good. I guess we'll see. Things are a lot different than they were back then, but the track itself looks the same. So hopefully it's a good one. So yeah, it's exactly the same. I'm pretty sure that's like the exact same scale box from 2001, but it's literally unchanged in any way at all, except for this shed. This is a new shed. I would assume the old shed fell in, but well, exactly the same. It's crazy to think after all these years, not a single thing has changed. So already ran into some people I know, like her. So we'll see how this goes. We got some fast guys like Cunningham and Ian Keeling's here, so it's going to be a tough one, but feels kind of good to be back. So far, so good. We were actually pretty good in hot laps. They were going to do qualifying, but they had an issue with the timing system, so they decided to do one heat race and then a feature, which honestly is probably better for me because you all know me, I can't qualify worth a damn. So the heat race was probably actually better for me because if we had qualified, I probably would be starting last. But as you saw, the heat race went pretty well. Started fourth, ran second for a while, ended up third. Kart's pretty loose going into the corners, but I think we got a fix for it. So hopefully we can be pretty good in the feature. And I think the goal is to kind of hold on to a hot top three. I hope. First and second that heat were really, really fast. I mean, Troy Hart won it and he absolutely left everyone. And then the kid that passed me in the 87 pulled away a little bit too. So I don't know how close fourth was to me, but I felt like we were pretty quick. So hopefully we can stay in that top three range and have a good run because like I said many times, my confidence is like 0. So to feel pretty good at hot laps and to feel good in the heat race and not just be like getting worse is a nice feeling. So we're gonna make a little adjustment for the feature, try and tighten this thing up a little bit going in, and hopefully we can have a good run and we can come into tomorrow with a little bit of momentum. So let's see how the feature goes. that went pretty good and was completely unexpected. I felt pretty good in hot laps. Gramps said that we were probably quickest in hot laps. I told him that was the problem because for like the last 3 or 4 races, we're always quickest in hot laps when we go downhill from there. So I wasn't actually feeling too good about that, but is what it is. The timing system, they had a really long delay because the timing system wasn't working, and they decided to scrap qualifying. They decided to scrap qualifying and go with a single heat race format, which is honestly better for me because I can't qualify worth a damn. You all know that. So we ran pretty good in the heat. Ended up finishing third, which put me starting third in the feature. I got to second really quick, but then got shuffled back to fifth really quick. And I kind of thought it was all over for them, honestly. Like, I thought, man, we got freight trained. Maybe we're not that good. We're not that quick. Cart was still loose. Like, we kind of fought a loose cart all night. But I kind of started picking them off, and I was able to get them on restarts. I think that one restart, I got 2 of them right there, right in turn 1 and 2. So we were feeling really good, and I got into second, and that's where I ended up finishing. We rode there for a while. We had another restart, and I thought, man, maybe I got a shot at this, but cart was just too loose at that point. I think it was our left rear tire. The left rear tire was harder than the rest of the tires, but it was our only option. We were trying to get the stagger we needed, so we were kind of stuck with that hard left rear, and we tried to soften it up a little bit, but we just couldn't get it soft enough. So I think that's what caused our loose condition, but I'm very happy with it. I'll take a second. These past few races, the past month has been awful. My confidence has been 0. I've been thinking maybe I should just quit. I don't know. So to have a good run and to come home second is really awesome. I feel really good about that. I don't know. I guess that's it. It was a good night. We're going to go into day 2 here and hopefully have another good night. I'm going to run medium again in my cart, and then Larry McRoberts is bringing his, and we're going to run it in Predator 375, I think. So going to run 2 classes tonight, 1 in my cart, 1 with Larry's, and hopefully it goes really well.